Yeah.
Huh, that's the first that's done that to me. Okay.
Zoom's getting fancy.
Gallery. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Nate Albaugh here, head football coach at Hayworth High School. Never heard of it? That's okay. Nobody has. We're tiny. We're in the middle of Illinois. But I'm alongside of Mike Morrissey, the head coach at Moline High School, much bigger school up in the area that we in the central in Illinois call the Quad Cities area, over at the Iowa border. Coach, welcome to Trap Life.
Coach, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Looking forward to this.
Man, well, my first thought was, what's this Lincoln Riley looking dude doing on a wing tee show? Are you sure you're in the right place? You're a wing tee guy?
Done. It's done. We're committed. We're committed to doing this. Now, we've made some changes and we've done some different things, but the fundamentals and the base of our system stays the same no matter what we're doing.
Now, are you under center?
We are. We're probably 80% under center this year. Now we've gone back and forth and we have our spread package with it, but we try to keep it all mirrored and all the same as far as our guys up front. And then the games we play in our spread system is the same as everybody else. But we're primarily under center this year. We're committed to it.
What keeps you under center? Because I know what keeps me under center, but what keeps you under center? I want to hear this.
I like the way that things hit. I like the way that you can have quick hitters up front, and I think it takes a lot of pressure off your offensive line. And then I think what we're going to talk about today with the play action game, I think it opens a lot of things up. I think that's what makes it really unique. Anytime a quarterback turns his back to the line of scrimmage with the ball, that's part of the deception of what makes this offense pretty special. So we stuck to it, and we had a pretty good quarterback that could throw it around a little bit. So we threw for 1,700 yards and 20 touchdowns this year in a wing tee system. But it was something where we kind of mixed and matched. In the spring, we were a lot more spread shotgun, and this year we did it a lot more under center.
Man, good for you. I think that there's so much positive, because I get pressure. Even my own dad, he's my biggest supporter, no doubt about it.
Yeah, of course.
And he loves what I do offensively. But even he sometimes is like, why don't you, and it kind of usually involves backing it up. And hey, if you do back it up, you can do X, Y, and Z. And
sure,
there's a lot of good reasons for it. But there's just so many reasons that I love being under center. Two of those things are our home run hitters.
Yeah.
When we turn our back, we can really go deep. And number two, counter crisscross. Like for me, I love it, Coach. Picture living without it. All right. So that's enough about me. We're here to listen to you talk ball. So Coach, you're going to talk a little play action pass today?
Yeah. So we'll talk about some of the things that we've done under center with our play action pass and how we've tagged, different concepts to our base run plays. That's kind of what we've been trying to focus on with a good quarterback like we had, is how do we, besides our naked and our bootleg, what else can we do to be able to create matchups off of our base run plays, and give that play action look. And we had an all-state wide receiver this year who was just incredible. So, a lot of teams had to honor him and do some things to get outside and open up the box for our run game. But as soon as they opened up things for a one-on-one matchup, we wanted to be able to take advantage of that and basically off of our play action within our 5 base runs. So that's what we're going to hit on a little bit today.
Love it, man. Coach, real quick before I turn it over to you, you said tell us more about who one of your biggest wing tee influences is.
Yeah. So, my dad is first and foremost. He ran the wing tee forever and is a Hall of Fame coach in the state of Iowa. And then Butch Gontroff was the head football coach at Bellevue out in Washington, and won a national title in 2012, won a bunch of state championships. I think like 12 out of 16 years he was a head coach out there. And Butch is just unbelievably creative and smart and fundamental based. I think with any offense you run, if you focus on the fundamentals and work on assignment perfect football, you're going to be successful. And that's one of the things one of the bigger things I took away from him was, hey, our system's fun and we have adjustments and all that kind of stuff. But if you are assignment perfect with what you do, and that's what you strive for, and you don't accept anything less, you're going to see some growth in your players. So we're not perfect. We're still getting there, obviously, like everybody else, but our guys have made some great strides and they've made us look pretty good at times.
Man, well, I'm excited to hear from you. I'm going to go click here to make you a host.
You got it.
And let's see. I always forget how to do this for a moment. Oh, there it is.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I'm going to share this thing and so you guys can see my screen, and I'll get everything ready here as far as the playbook's concerned. So I do have clips. I'm going to kind of go through our bootleg and our naked and how we run that out of multiple formations. And there are there's videos tagged to these things. This is kind of how we teach our players and give them visuals as far as, our passing game. And really everything we do is we put different clips at the bottom of all of our huddle installs so that our guys can see this stuff. So our bootleg, our bootleg is pretty fundamental base, and it's pretty much what everybody does. So when we go our bootleg to our weak side, so this would be our what we call our blue wing right formation. Our terminology is maybe not a traditional wing tee or the Delaware wing tee, so to speak. We've kind of mirrored, a little bit of what my dad did at Pleasant Valley, and then kind of what Coach Gontroff did at Bellevue. So we've kind of mirrored and matched those both to fit our system and our kids. But really what we're looking for is a 4-man option or 5-man really on every play on our bootlegs and our nakeds. Our short route's always going to be our fullback off of our sweep play action. He'll be coming through. And I know it's a little bit wide on this one, but his path is actually going to be straight through here. The goal for him is to get tackled, right? You want him to make sure he gives a great fake. So ultimately, if he gets tackled and these backers are coming up and making plays, it's going to open up something else. But if he's able to get through, after our fullback fakes here, his aiming point is going to be at 3 yards to the sidelines. So he has a direct path as far as where he's trying to go to make sure we have the right spacing on every play. Our tight end is going to be our intermediate throw. So he's going to be our medium guy. He's going to come underneath the first set of linebackers and then build over top. His goal is to get to a minimum of 10 yards. But by the time he gets basically to the opposite tackle, we want him to start leveling out so that we have a decent path for him to throw. We don't want him drifting down here. We don't want him coming too shallow, obviously, so we can kind of put a guy in conflict in this area here if we're going to go to one of these two. When we're going to our weak side or our split side, our guy here, our X receiver, is going to run what we call a Gator 7. And we do that for a reason. We don't want him just to run, a straight up corner route. We want him to kind of crack down like he's going to go after the safety, just like he would on our sweep. So we want to sell that. So his path is going to be inside at 5 and at 45, up vertical, and then he's going to be our high angle guy over the top. We go our bootleg there to the split side. And then our wing back here, backside is going to go ahead and he's going to run our backside post. And our quarterback's got to be our fifth guy, right? If he sees everybody's covered, he's got to be a guy that's going to be able to tuck that ball and run a little bit as well. So, our guy this last year was definitely more of a thrower, wasn't a great runner. So he would probably look to get rid of the ball a little bit more, but our kids coming up next year and in the future are a little bit more athletic. I think those guys will be that threat that we want, but we're going to block down with our tackle. We're going to pull our guard around. Everybody backside is going to be based after our halfback sells his sweep fake. He's going to go ahead and seal that backside. So I can show you, just kind of look, here, I'll give you guys an example of what it looks like. I'm not going to actually run through it. I'll pause it here once we get to that point, but this is on a fourth down play in a playoff game down here at our goal line. And we end up hitting our split for a touchdown, but you'll see his path as he cracks down. We run sweep so much this game early on. I mean, it's the second quarter that we got these guys to get their guys caught in the backfield, and that's the big thing. When our eyes are starting to look, these guys are able to get over the top, but our split end does a great job of coming down like he's going to go ahead and block this safety. And you'll see both of these guys really hesitate because they're thinking run, even though, it's a 4th and 7 situation here going forward. And then we'll go ahead and our fullback we'll sell here. He'll be out in the flat. Our tight end will be our crosser. Our backside post this close would probably end up getting to the back of the end zone and working himself across. But you'll see the spacing and what we're looking for. So, big thing here is we're going to check number 1 to see if we can get over the top. If he's not there, then our quarterback's just going to basically high-low a guy here on with the fullback and the tight end and just try to take advantage of these guys, coming up a little bit. But I'll pause it. I know it's going to be a little bit choppy, but you'll see here, there again, great path by our wide receiver. Coming down here like he's going to come and crack the safety and work to the safety. Our quarterback does a good job with the fake. Our tackle's down. Our guard pulls around. Our fullback's going to be coming through. But you'll see right here, that guy's eyes are already done, right? His eyes are in the backfield. The corner's eyes are in the backfield. He's basically standing straight up. So now we've put ourselves in a position where this guy is a really good athlete and selling this thing can go ahead and get over the top. And I'll go ahead and pause it right there. Again, here's our fullback coming out. He's going to come at 3. Our tight end is crossing. He should be maybe a little bit deeper, but he did a good job of getting underneath and coming around. Our guard is here as our guy kind of leading everything out. So our quarterback feels comfortable with this. And as we come here, you'll see right there, it's done, right? By this point, if he's even with him, it's over. Like our goal is to put this thing in the back of the end zone. But at this time, the corner's done, the safety's done. Our fullback's getting a little bit deep. Hopefully he kind of levels himself out. And then right here, our guy's kind of gotten behind people. But again, he sold that with our Gator 7 route. And you can see, our coaches right now, like everybody's pointing, these guys are all pointing at the guy that's got the win. And then our quarterback does a nice job of lofting it up and getting our guy in the back of the end zone. We scored a touchdown there in the second quarter on a 4th down play. So it's been good to us that way. Like I said, there's other clips that we can show where he hits different guys. But our bootleg to the weak side has been a pretty good play for us, and something that we've used quite a bit in our passing game. And I'll go ahead and show it again here to the strong side, or when we run it to the strong side. Same principles, right? So this would be our blue slot. Okay, so we go our check 52 bootleg right is what we call this, but everything stays the same. We're still going a high, a medium, and a low with a backside post on this. So we try to keep everything mirrored with our bootleg, no matter which way we're running it. Our guy, our tight end to the tight end side is going to go ahead and press vertical for 10, and he's out on a corner. Fullback, same thing, getting to 3 yards is his aiming point to the sidelines. Our halfback or our wing back to the backside is going to be our crosser now. So they just change responsibilities as you can see it. And I'll try to get this one up a little bit just so you can get an idea, and I can pause this thing, what we're looking for. So hopefully it doesn't get too choppy on you guys. But again, this would be what we call our blue slot left formation. It's going to be our tight end that goes on a corner. Here's our fullbacks going to come in the flat again, the high, medium, and low. But our quarterback gets a pretty good idea of what he's looking at, just based on the defense. If you got a safety that's already shaded all the way over to the wide receiver side, because that's, in a spread system, that's what they're going to go to. They're going to kind of shade themselves to those 2 receiver sides over here. Now we think, hey, we can get maybe that home run here on our tight end. And if we sell it, the big thing, our quarterback got in a rush at times, kind of selling this thing, but we'd like him to be a little bit more patient when they sell those fakes. The fullback's going to kind of sell it himself with a big, we teach our quarterbacks to keep it in the pocket, in the stomach on that one. But when he turns his back to sell that sweep fake, we want him to really ride that thing and get some depth on that as he comes back around. So here you'll see right now, just off of play action, this tight end is sitting here by himself, and we end up hitting this guy for a long touchdown. But again, we got our high, our medium coming across, our low, and this is the guy right here. If they ended up having a guy, a safety over the top of him, this is the guy we're going to put in conflict. Okay, so we're basically going to high-low that guy right there, who's the flat defender, and make him make a decision. He can either drop down with the crosser, and then we'll take the fullback in the flat, or he can come up to the fullback, and we should end up having our crosser wide open coming across the middle. So that's always what we're looking for in our bootleg. We're trying to get a hard sweep fake, because our buck sweep is a staple play for us in our offense. We want to have a play action off of that where we can hit something over the top. So that's been a good one for us. Our bootleg's been tremendous. Our naked play, and I can come back to the throwback here in a little bit, but our naked play is another one that's kind of unique for us. And this is one that I got from my dad that's ran it at Pleasant Valley forever. But we run a lot of our lead, I think in a traditional wing tee, it's called a belly. But we run a lot of our lead to the strong side, out of this formation. So our quarterback will go ahead and reverse out. He's going to sell, and our fullback's path is not right. He's going to take his lateral step and go ahead and sell that belly fake or that lead fake for us. The key is over here. So we're going to have our halfback or our wing back go ahead, and we tell them you're going to block for a 4 count. Okay, so we tell them 4, knowing it's probably going to be like a 2.5, 3 before he goes out into the flat. But it's the same thing. We're going to go high, a medium, and a low, a Gator 7, because we're running it back here to the split side. So he's our home run ball. We're going to go ahead and run our crosser with our tight end. And then this slot guy here, our wing back, is going to be our guy that's in the flat. So, you can see it here as we do it, against, this was back, I think, in 2018, but our wing right here is going to go ahead and block whoever this defender is. Okay, so right now he's thinking, I'm going here to possibly here, but I'm going to stay. Like I'm going to step up. I'm going to stay. I'm going to sell this. Our halfback's going to go ahead and seal the edge there. Our fullback's going to take his lateral downhill and go ahead and sell and seal there. Our Gator 7 will be right here. So he's our home run, and our tight end would be our crosser. So it all stays conceptually the same, right? It's always going to be that high, medium, and low as we go. And you'll see here, our wing kind of is patient. And then, as our quarterback comes around off that play action, now he's by himself. We'd like him to get hands on a guy. I know he doesn't get hands on anybody right there, We'd like him to do that. But what he does is, with being patient, is sells that run and sells that run. And now we go ahead and get it out here to him in the flat with nobody there. And I think in 2018, he was our flat guy on those nakeds was just a huge thing for us. And we took advantage of that all the time. So one of the things that we've done off of this, okay, and because we've had a dynamic receiver, but one of the things that we've done that I felt was really good was working different play actions off of other concepts that we run. So we started to run some unbalanced. We started to do some other things to try to open up our passing game. And I know out of this formation, this is a big one where we wanted to be able to throw the ball more. We wanted to be able to do some things that were a little bit different. So in doing that, we had to come up with some different ways to be creative and to make it happen. So one of the things that we ended up doing was basically tagging our concepts and tagging different pass routes and things like that to different sides to give us an opportunity to be a little bit more creative. So for example, this is a blue wing right formation. Okay, that's what we call this. So if we wanted to run our lead pass and run a play action off of that, we would go blue wing right, check 51, check 51 lead comeback, or check 51 lead curl, check 51 lead out. And we had such a good wide receiver that this was something for us where we wanted to take advantage of one-on-one matchups. So, our lead pass is basically, what everybody else would call belly. So we'd be here, he'd check out, he'd block it just like lead. This guy would come here and fill just like this into here, into the gap. And then our fullback would take his lateral, come through and fake, but then he would check anything in this way. Okay, so our quarterback's going to go ahead and reverse out just like he would on his lead, bam, here, and then work for depth. At times we'd send this guy on a route, and traditionally what it would be just a shallow. So we'd keep our tight end in. This guy would come across right here on a shallow route, just in case we needed to tag him down on something. And then we'd run our X on anything we wanted. So he could go, an outside release, vertical comeback. And again, that'd be check 51 lead pass, comeback. He could go a curl and come in this way. He could run a post. We hit posts for touchdowns over and over and over and over again this year. But we just got creative with that by saying, hey, let's be able to tag things in our passing tree to be able to get this guy open. And we call everything by concept. So we have about 30 passing concepts, 2-man concepts, 3-man concepts from my time at Desert Mountain when we passed the ball quite a bit. So we just kind of worked on the ones that we felt we could run off of this and took advantage of it. So another thing that we did out of this formation, because we wanted to run our down pass, down's a staple for us. We wanted to run our down. So we thought, okay, so what can we do to tag concepts to our down? So easy things for us, we have what we call otter. Otter is basically an out corner. So the otter kind of meshes into that. So if we ran down to this side, he's going to stay in, we're going to block down. We are going to pull this guy. So we did that at times and pulled him down this way to seal our corner. Whoops, sorry about that, coach. Our high lows and things we're trying to do here. So what we do on our otter concept is our tight end will be outside release, vertical to 10. He's on a corner. Our wing backs come and go into 3. So we're just trying to high low somebody. It's simple stuff. Like we're going to high low a corner. Our fullback's going to fake here and then go ahead and seal. Our halfback, at times, depending what kind of backside pressures we got, we just tell him you're going to stay. Like you're going to take a lateral step play side like you would on down. We're carrying out our option, and then you're going to come back and seal. Our quarterback's going to reverse out right here and then get depth, and we're going to work high-low. We did that out of our unbalanced formation. So we would go, and we did this quite a bit actually in the playoffs. We go our unbalanced, our green formation is what we call it. But we go unbalanced and we put an extra guy, an extra tackle in, or move our X receiver, I should say, over to where he's here. And same thing where our wing just bumps out. And we ran this to death in our second round playoff game. And got a whole bunch of completions on it. But the fun part was we're able to tag different concepts. So, when we fake this, it could be, we call Poco, which is a post corner. We ran our otter, which is a speed out in our corner. We run what we call our bear concept, which again is a corner. And then he's going to press to 10 yards and out. We run our comeback where he's going to outside release, and run a comeback, and he's got the corner. So whatever we were trying to do was a high-low, and everything was trying to be where we can go ahead and high-low somebody off of play action and be able to get a home run. We did the same thing off of our sweep pass where we tag these things and go ahead and so for this would be like green right, check 52 down pass Poco, green right, check 52 down pass Otter. So it's all pretty much mirrored and stays the same with what our guys are looking at, within the system that we run, or check 52 sweep pass Poco, check 52 sweep pass post. It's all pretty simple, but it's all done with tags. And I think that's what made it a lot of fun. And then we also run a throwback. I think everybody's got a little bit of a throwback at some point or another in their play action. So we run a throwback off of our bootleg, and we run a throwback pretty much off of our naked. So when you look at this, we're going to go our check 52 naked right throwback. So the rules stay the same for everybody else. This guy's going to have a Gator 7. This guy's going to block for a 4 count and release out to the flat. Our tight end's going to run his crosser. Our fullback is going to take his lateral step and come down and sell. Our halfback is going to go ahead and sell like he's blocking, and then he's going to go ahead and release. And this is a playoff game. And I think they actually ended up switching. So our fullback ended up being the throwback on this one. This is a playoff game in 2018. And you'll see here with all the action coming this way, when you get all these defenses to flow based off your play action and off your naked looks, it opens things up to where now you have a throwback right here, with our buddy within, 20 yards. And obviously they got a lot of penetration. So our quarterback did a nice job. But, as he releases this thing, you'll see him going down the sidelines and there's nobody left. When teams that are good at defending this stuff start to see this. And obviously when teams are prepping for you and they say, well, here's what we know. Okay, we're going to go ahead and lock this guy up with him. So our Gator 7 is going to be basically taken care of by the corner. As soon as that tight end crosses, the safety is going to jump on him and he's going to take him. And then when our wing back releases, well, the flat guy is going to go with him. So now theoretically everybody's covered, but a lot of times this corner will chase a little bit as well to kind of replace where that safety was. And that leaves room on that throwback to be able to go ahead and take advantage of those things backside. So, we always try to see how teams are going to defend us before we figure out what we can take advantage of in the passing game. And obviously being able to tag different things and go into different things with our guys has been really, really successful and has opened things up for us. And I do have a ton of clips. I know, it's hard to show this stuff without the film, but at least with the choppiness. But I mean, our play action game and the things that we were able to do off play action was just huge. And I know I wanted to show at least a little bit of the stuff that we did, based off of the lead pass and those types of things, just to get an idea. So you guys kind of could see, okay, this is how they call this, or this is what they do with this. And our green formation here, just talking about like Otter. Okay, so here's our unbalanced formation. So what we're going to do is we're going to check our down pass. Our wing back is going to go ahead and run that flat. And then our tight end is going to run the deep corner. And you'll see here, I know, again, I'm sure it's a little bit choppy, but as they adjust and shift guys over, because it is unbalanced, so it's something different that a defense has to see. But you'll see here as we come off on this, first thing this guy does is come in, right? His eyes are inside. This guy comes inside, and we get leverage with this speed out immediately. And there's nobody out here. We get a little bit of pressure because we didn't block that well on the front side. But our guy catches a ball, right here with nobody around him. And if he caught it a little bit sooner, probably could have turned in and scored a touchdown on this. But that's what this play action does for you. It opens up a million different opportunities to be able to stretch the defense and to keep them honest, where for us in our system, now they're not allowed to come up and play those responsibilities in the run as much as they want to, because that's what everybody wants to do against us. They want to come up, they want to make sure that they're playing the run responsibilities. And, we try to do things to make sure that they can't do that in the passing game. So here again, is another thing here in our unbalanced, we call our Poco concept. So Poco is post corner. Okay. So we're going to sell our sweep. Our fullback kind of gets beat up a little bit here. He was a sophomore at this time, but we sell our sweep, which our buck sweep is one of our best plays. We're going to run a post with our outside wing. We're going to run a corner with our tight end, who's actually our X receiver. But you'll see the big thing is selling the sweep. And these guys are all stepping up. They see run, they're stepping up, they're coming up. and then here we get confusion in the back end because now this guy's sitting here thinking I'm playing number 2, who's our X receiver. So he takes off at the corner route and our post route ends up coming here wide open by himself in the middle of the field. And our quarterback gets lit up here. So he does a great job of getting this thing off. But here you'll see as our guy comes in the middle of the field, there's nobody left, so he gets a walk-in touchdown, which is nice. But we do this stuff all the time, guys. We tag our concepts to every play action we have, whether it's our down pass, our lead pass, obviously our bootleg and our nakeds take care of themselves. We do have a trap pass that we run as well. And then we run RPOs in our spread system based out of our main run plays as well. But it's been a staple for us. And like I said, we threw for 1,700 yards this year, pretty much off of play action and off of guys just running free and getting open off of our base run plays. So anything that we're able to mirror off of that is what we're trying to accomplish in our passing game. No, you got it. It's no problem.
All right. Just been taking some notes here, Coach. Great job. Love seeing it and love I always tell guys, well, a lot of times as I've been doing this, guys will ask, hey, what do you want me to speak on? What do you want me to speak on?
Sure.
And I always just say, hey, speak on something that you're excited about.
Yeah.
Because I've found that you could have 50 presentations on the same topic. If all 50 guys are excited about it, they're all good and they're all worth watching. So I just love how excited you are about this, and I can see how much you enjoy it and love it. Tons of stuff. Now I had talked to Coach earlier, say you might be willing to share a playlist with me, and I can put some of that film here at the end of our presentation that the guys can watch at their own pace. So
yes, sir.
Just because we know it through Zoom, film is very choppy. It's barely worth watching. So you did a great job kind of walking us through that. But Coach is going to share with me a few. And so then right at the end of this presentation, we'll roll right into some of these clips you guys can watch at your own pace and play it back. And that way it'll run smooth. But all right, Coach, here's some of my questions I'm just going to ask my own selfish questions, things
of course
that come up. First of all, practicing your play action game.
Yeah.
So I do think that a lot of wing T teams, I think that from what I can tell from what you do, your play action game is a huge piece of your offense. And I think there's a lot of wing T teams that it's not nearly as big a piece. And I can't say that they're wrong because I've watched teams win state titles and they throw the ball twice, right? So I can't say they're wrong, but I can see that you lean towards, hey, we're committed to throwing the ball a lot. Tell me how you're working this into your practice plan. When and where are you practicing these play action concepts?
Yeah, well, and here's kind of our philosophy behind that. So Coach Gontroff is a guy that would go into a game, and if he doesn't have to throw the ball at all, he won't do it. And that's just the way it was. For us, we always feel like maybe we're not as talented as everybody else we play. We play 7A football in Illinois. When we get into the playoffs, we're not going to be the biggest team. We're not going to be the fastest team. But what we have to be able to do is try to manipulate the aggressiveness of maybe some of the others. And we do that with our play action. So that's why we lean a little bit more on play action than most traditional wing T teams do, because we have to be able to get those guys to back up a little bit. And if we can ever get to a spot where teams are going to continue to play us with a too high safety look, then we're winning the numbers game. Then we're in good shape, we feel like. But we work all this stuff into our script basically methodically as we go, and we try to tie it all together. So for example, if our first five plays in our script are going to be our trap and our sweep plays, then you're going to get a bootleg in that as well. And then if we end up going, if our next 5 are what we call our lead and our belly, then we're going to get a lead pass in there at some point. And same thing with our down pass. So, if we're running a whole bunch of down and we're doing it both ways and trying to get that in, we better be able to work our down play action pass into that first five plays that we run with those. So we always try to tie it in. I'm sure just like everybody else, our guys get used to at practice, our scout teams, our demo teams of, okay, we're getting this over and over and over. So we got to keep them honest at times too. But, so we tie it in. So if we script 25 plays of team offense, we're going to get a play action off of all of our base 5 run plays. And that's just the way it is. And then there's some days where we go a little bit heavier. If we're going to play a team that we feel is really good up front, but that we could take advantage of in the back end a little bit with some of our skill guys, then we'll work it in. Maybe, out of the first 5, 2 of them are play action, on Monday, or 2 of them are play action on Tuesday. And we continue to build on that. But we do put a lot of emphasis on it, and it's been good for us. We've every year since I've been here, we've had a quarterback that's thrown for over 1,000 yards. So we do throw the ball, a little bit more than maybe a traditional wing T team does. But we do that because we feel like we do have some good receivers. We do have some good skill guys. And, our quarterbacks have always been pretty efficient with what they do in our passing game. So we commit to it, and it's the same thing in the summer in 7-on-7. We're not afraid to run this stuff, and we'll do it because this is what's going to make us better. We played Peoria High in a 7-on-7 game over at Rock Island. And I mean, it was like touchdown after touchdown after touchdown after touchdown on both ends. And this is all we ran. We just ran this stuff. We didn't do anything different. We run what we run because that's how we have to get better at it. So it made it fun. And it was interesting to see the two, different approaches to offense in that. But, we do commit to it and we run it quite a bit because we feel like it's an important part of our system.
Now, how about, do you have like a period during practice where it's like passing? Are you going to take the
We
O-line
do.
and work on pass pro, and then your skill guys are together working that? Like, how do you divide that up, and how much time are you spending there?
So we divide things up. We're lucky. We have 2 offensive line coaches. So for the first, segments of practice, a lot of it goes down where those guys are on their own. So they're doing their shoots, they're doing their sled work, they're doing all the things like that. And then whatever emphasis we have for the day, especially early in the season. So if we're going to go a heavy play action day, those guys will start working that right after they get done with their fundamental work. And that's pretty much a daily thing. So when we break up, we also do a little bit different with our skill guys. Like we'll have our inside run, we'll have our 7-on-7 segments, just like everybody else does. But when we're doing 7-on-7, it's a lot of this. It's a lot of the play action game. It's a lot of, our bootleg pass and our naked and our lead pass and down pass stuff. And so it's not as much the spread concept stuff, but it's our quarterbacks being able to get work. So if we go 15 minutes of that, our quarterbacks will end up switching, back and forth. So they get work on both ends. Our running backs will end up switching back and forth. They'll get their inside run time, but they also need to get their play action time so that they're able to find their landmarks and make sure our spacing is always good and efficient with what we're trying to do. And we do that every day. So, I mean, we have that, Monday through Wednesday, we do that, all throughout the course of the season, and stay pretty routine with how we do it for the most part. So those guys get a lot of work in, and at some point it just becomes where it's like, okay, I've done this so many times that it's easy, and I know exactly what it is based on which direction we're running our nakeds and play actions and stuff like that. I know what my responsibility is, and it's really neat when you see the freshmen start to get it, because those guys, everything stays a vertical alignment in our system. Our guys are taught the same thing all the way through. And our coaches are really good about the fundamental pieces of everything, with the landmarks and where we want those guys to be. But it takes time, and there is a commitment to it. But if you have a quarterback that can throw the ball and at least is fairly accurate, you're going to be able to do some good things. And our quarterback could throw. He's obviously, throwing for 20 touchdown passes is good in any system. But he's able to do it primarily off of play action. And a lot of the times the guys were wide open. A lot of times he had to put a good ball on a kid. So, it just opens things up, but we practice it every single day, and we put segments in place to make sure our kids are prepared that way.
How many pass pros do you carry?
So, you know what? We used to carry more than I probably like. I mean, we have, we call our bat protection is basically a big on big. And we do that on straight drop back stuff. We have our quick bat, which is, again, any 3-step drop is going to be just a little bit more aggressive with that. We have our sprint out, and then we have our bootleg stuff. So, it's not a ton, but it got to the point where, our bat protection was almost non-existent at one point, because we didn't do a ton of straight drop back stuff. So we'd call maybe a quick bat if we're going to run out of our wing T sets, a combo route, like a slant arrow, or if we're going to run a quick go, or it's just a 1-2-3 fade ball, or, a quick hitch, or one of those things. Like, our quick bat became more prevalent for us than anything else. But, and our sprint out stuff was always good too. We will run a lot of sprint out stuff and a lot of hinge back protection with our guys. And again, I'm very lucky. I think between our 2 offensive line coaches, there's, about 70 years of coaching experience between the 2 of them. And we had a group of, they were all juniors this year pretty much for us up front. So they all come back next year, which is exciting, but they're able to pick up things pretty quick, and once we got in a rhythm and an understanding of, okay, what are our guys really good at? Then we kind of focused on those things. So our quick bat, our bootlegs, our nakeds, our sprint out were pretty much what we committed to as the season went on.
So then 3 pass pros, 4. How many
pretty
was
much 3? Yeah,
3.
I mean, it was 4, but we ended up committing to 3. But then the other piece of that is this, like, so again, with our play action, if we're going to go, our check 52 down pass, they're going to block it just like down. I mean, their first 3 steps are just like down, and then they're just going to be, gap integrity and make sure we're not letting guys through. If we ran our lead pass, our check 51 lead pass, they're running it just like lead. So the only thing we kind of kept the lid on with our lead, I mean, there's like, 4 or 5 different adjustments where we're actually just running lead, to that guard and tackle that they're going to make their calls on. But we always just said, look, it's going to be a split call no matter what. So our tackle is going to be out, our guard's going to be down, and our fullback or our halfback, is going to be the guy that's going to end up taking that back or play side anyway. So it was all just based on that. And I think that's what makes it look like it's a lot, but it's not, because they're all going to take their steps that they've learned in the run game over and over and over again, and then apply it to just not getting downfield, getting us a penalty is if we're going to put one up.
Here's something I've wrestled with recently. You tell me what, if I play offensive tackle at Moline, am I ever going to kick slide?
No.
Okay.
Coach, we had, and believe me, we got guys that, and we have coaches that would be like, we need to do this. We just don't. I mean, honestly, we're pretty aggressive with our pass pro stuff. And we spend so much time on the run game that it's like, man, that's just another thing that this kid has to try to learn how to do. And I'll be honest, as a guy that's coached a spread system, as a guy that's coached now in this, I think a kick slide is pretty easy to teach if you have to do it. I really do. As long as they don't overextend with things, I think it's fairly easy to do. But, our kids, maybe they just don't know any better. I don't know, but they never asked to do that stuff either. Like they're pretty much committed to what we do and how we're doing things. And, they may watch the games on Sundays, but they don't sit there and say, oh, I see this guy doing this. I see this guy. They're like, well, we do this. This is how we do it.
Yeah.
And I think it just makes it easy because we do so much play action and we do so many RPOs, even when we're in spread, that it's just, we feel like it's just one more thing that we'd have to teach that's not necessary.
Yeah. Okay. Got one more question for you. I might find you later and ask you more about pass pro.
Anything, Coach, anything.
Here's something I've been wrestling with myself as well. When I look at my own practice plan, I get a little frustrated because I use a tight end. I feel like anybody that uses a tight end a lot has to wrestle with this. Because I use a tight end so prominently in my run game, I feel like I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage because I can't truly practice my run game without my tight end.
Sure.
And I can't truly practice my passing game without my tight end. Whereas if I'm a true spread system, or if I just run, let's say, 20 personnel, right? Yeah. And I've got 3 receivers. I can send those guys with 1 QB. They can work pass game for 20.
Correct.
While my entire offensive line, we're truly doing our whole run game. And I feel like I'm at a little bit of disadvantage because there's almost nothing. Like, only thing I could really practice without my tight ends is trap. I guess I could practice counter some. So I'm wrestling with that. Like, how do I win back some of that time?
So that's hard. And honestly, I think that's a philosophy thing. I'll be honest with us. When we go our inside run and 7-on-7, our tight ends go with our inside run. And they commit to that. Like our guys have to be blockers first. And we had a good tight end. I mean, he was a senior. He has FCS offers. I mean, he's a really talented kid. And he just understood, like, my number one job is to block. I get it. Like, I have to be able to move somebody on my down blocks, and so his fundamental base time was always spent with our offensive line. Now, there's definitely one day a week where he's going to go get like receiver footwork in. He's going to be able to work his releases as far as what he's doing. So he did get the time, at least one 15-minute segment every single week, at least one, where it's like, okay, you're going to go do this. You're going to work on your releases. You're going to work on spacing and where you need to go and how to sell this and all those types of things. But, we don't ask them much, really in our passing game, we don't. I mean, he's got to run a crosser. He's got to run a corner route. And then if we tag something else, like a post or what, I mean, he's being tagged. So it's pretty simple. It's not anything crazy. And every now and then he'll run a shallow route. Like it's nothing too crazy. And he knows that, but yet, despite the fact that it wasn't crazy, I mean, he had 500 yards receiving and like 10 touchdowns. Or 7 touchdowns or something. So, I mean, he doesn't have to do a ton in our passing game, but it does help, to work the footwork, to be able to work the hands. But a lot of that stuff's done also pre-practice. Our coaches, our receivers coach is really good about grabbing our receivers, grabbing our tight ends, and just working some hand placement stuff, and basically catching the ball in pre-practice. So those guys know they got to get there a little bit early. And if they want to catch balls, first and foremost, they got to be able to block. And secondly, they'll get their opportunity if everything's sold the right way to get open. So I don't know. It's tough. I get that part too. And again, if you ask a guy like Coach Gontroff, he's going to put him with the offensive line every day, all day long, because he's a huge part of the run game. But for us, because he is an important part of the passing game, we do give him a little bit of love there with the receivers.
Well, Coach, I've had a blast talking to you. I'm going to stick around after we stop the recording because I got two other questions I wanted to ask you that were a little bit less related to this topic. But
you got it.
How could guys look you up if they have any questions?
Honestly, Coach, I mean, I know I'm on Twitter like everybody else, but my email is on our district website. We don't hide anything. Like I said before, people were really good to me when we were trying to put this together and get our things done, and we wanted to learn things. People have always been good to us as a staff, and we want to reciprocate that as best as possible. We're never one to sit there and say, oh no, we won't share this. Anything we have, we're willing to send it out if it's going to help somebody in some way, shape, or form. So you can find me on any of those things, and I'd be happy to help out in any way.
Well, look him up on Twitter. It's at Coach Morrissey 7, 2 S's in Morrissey.
That's right. A little unique there.
Well, I've had a blast talking to you, Coach. Best of luck here this
thanks, Coach. You too. Thank you.
Stick around when we stop this recording because I got a couple questions for you about all you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this mini clinic here on Trap Life, and spread the word. Us guys who take heat for our offense, I think we gotta stay together a little bit.
That's it. I'm with you, Coach. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks for being here, Coach.